Hey everyone, Mio Backlini here, part of the Souls and Stardust podcast. Today's reading is going to be, we'll do a pick a pile. So I will do a quick shuffle and then you can pick between three piles. It's just going to be a energetic check-in for the week, see where you're at, see what messages from your higher self and what other kind of stuff you want to know. While I'm shuffling, I will include the links in the description box for the information about our retreat that's coming up in November. That's going to be just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to have a cute little rustic venue that was built, we'll be saying it's built in the late 1800s. It was like a stagecoach stop area. So it's going to be a lot of fun because I'm sure there's a ton of history and energy that we can feel when we're going to be amongst each other, and that we can dive into that, and then even just in the area, just to see what we're feeling. So I am going to start thinking now which pile that you feel drawn to, and then we'll look at bottom of the deck for everybody. I am light. Let's see. We'll get. So what else? Did you catch our episodes about the dream space? That was a fun one. Crazy vivid dreams lately, highly symbolic. Some people having like crazy visitations in their dreams and feeling like they're going to other places in their dream space. So that's been really cool to hear people's stories. So definitely, if you have some kind of stuff you want to share with everybody, you can either send a message, leave a comment, leave a review, all of that good stuff. And then you can feel drawn to more than one pile. You don't have to stick with just one. Bottom of the deck, the Fool card. So I am light, the Fool. We're just going to keep it simple with these 4 decks today. This is from mine and Shannon's deck, Your Girlfriend's No Bullshit Love Oracle. These ones are not in print. They've been sold out twice. So if you're interested, we just need to know so we can put together another batch of pre-orders and get those out for the holidays. All right. Bottom of the deck. Ooh, this is not a vibrational match. Let them show themselves out. So there's an ending of something that needs to happen. We got the Fool card. So maybe there's somebody showing themselves out. Either the Fool, they're on their new journey. You're on your new journey. I'll do this deck too. This is our quickies deck. So leave a comment. I would love to know how you found us, how you found our channel, or how you know us. If you've listened to an episode, or leave your sun sign. Let's hear it. Home. It helps us to know that there's actually people on the other end of this, and if it's being helpful or not. WTF are you waiting for? So I do have to try to not cuss because I heard that there are problems with that. So I will be on my best behavior, which would make my mother happy. All right. So what are you feeling drawn to? We're going to go pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. And I should have got some kind of cute little here. Here we go. I'll do this. Let's do here. We'll do chess pieces because that's what's close. So we got pile 1 will be the queen, pile 2, the king, and pile 3, the bishop. Chestnut checkers, right? Chestnut checkers. So let's go pile 1. Move these. Pile 1, the queen. We have, I am grounded. We're in Virgo season right now. I am healing. And I am trusting my intuition. I am grounded. I am healing. I am trusting my intuition. So we have some people that are like, well, what does being grounded mean? And so that's like, do you live in a state where you're up here in your thoughts, lost all day long, and then the world around you seems to be like falling apart? Or you're like, dealing with this human shit when you're over here trying to have these dreams of grandeur and change the world and do this and do that. But then it's like these very basic human things have to be dealt with, right? How about if you've hit crisis mode and you're like, oh, I almost cussed. Sugar, shoot. Like the world around me is just like chaos. I have so much to do, the weight of everything. Am I running and escaping, or am I going to stay grounded in who I am and know that, okay, one step at a time, I'm going to get through this. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. It can literally like even 1 inch of movement is better than just staying put sometimes, right? So are you staying grounded in the midst of the chaos? So let's see what we got. Judgment, 2 of Wands, Hermit in reverse. So what are you being called with I am grounded? What is the moment of like calling you on your own ish and judgment against, not in a negative way, but just a reality check with, okay, where am I not being grounded? Where do I need to practice the art of like digging my roots in so I don't feel like every time the wind comes, I'm just going to get blown all over the place, right? I am healing. So I am healing comes up with the 2 of Wands. And so the 2 of Wands is the planning and preparation card. And it's like the spark of ideas of like, well, I have, and she's even like got her phone in hand, one hand on the wand, looking out into the future, to the potential adventure, right? So whether that's literal, hey, I'm healing and need to go on a trip, do we have a retreat? Or figuratively, metaphorically speaking, what plans do I need to make while I'm healing so that I can enforce these rules, these boundaries, or this path that I'm on, right? To make sure that I'm always going to make the best decisions and choices for me while I'm in this healing process and this healing journey. But also, how can I make it fun, right? Because the 2 of Wands is fire energy. It's not, slow and somber like Pentacle energy. 2 of Wands is like Aries, Leo, Sag. Like, come on, F it. Let's go. Pack our bags. Let's go. Let's go do this thing. Let's say yes to this thing. If we feel the inkling of being called and pulled to something, I want to do this. I want to book this. I should go here. I want to, experience this. I feel like my soul wants to attempt this. 2 of Wands is over there saying, yeah, if it's good for your healing process, say yes. Say yes and make those plans to it, right? And then I am trusting my intuition comes out with the Hermit in reverse. So Hermit is Virgo energy. This is going inside and like isolating to recharge, but isolating because the Hermit wants to analyze and go through everything. And today, as I'm recording to, it's the Virgo new moon. And so it's like moon in Virgo, sun in Virgo. What are we doing? We're not just cleaning house and organizing things, which I already did. And I have been working on my own house and then other projects. total Virgo energy. But what I'm talking about here, though, is when is it safe to come out from hermit mode and go out into the world and start participating in living your life? And what is going to be critical for building your community and your network and people who are going to be a positive life force energy around you, people who are encouraging, people who keep you accountable, right? So trusting your intuition, and especially because the hermit is like, I've gone inside and I've analyzed and I've considered and I've, you're running this through, like the gears are turning, you're processing like, like a computer would if you just were doing updates, right? So what is your intuition telling you about what's ready to come out or what you need to do to get out through this process? All right. So relationship wise, okay, relationship, we have make sure it's more than just physical. It should feed your heart and soul too. Let Shannon telling you that. Interesting with the I am grounded card and the judgment card, because grounded and judgment is like being real and raw and based in what we consider reality here, right? Make sure it's more than just physical. It should feed your heart and soul too. It shouldn't just be purely fire energy. It shouldn't be purely sexual energy. It needs to have the groundedness of like, I got you. I can hold space for you. Stability, safety, security. And what else feeds your heart and soul? Because what feeds my heart and soul might be totally different than what's going to feed yours. So when it's like it should feed your heart and soul, well, what is that for you? Make your list. Go journal it. Go write it down. Go do a voice memo to yourself and then listen to it in a month from now and 6 months from now and a year from now. Like, all right, dear self, what do you need? What do you need to feel fulfilled so that your heart and your soul feels like you have everything that you need outside of another person? Meaning, sorry, not found in another person. I mean like that what can I do to fill myself, my soul, so that I am utterly fulfilled without another person? Not saying I want to shut another person out and say that I don't need other people, but saying, how can I be independent and individual enough to not feel like I have to be in the context of partnership? Sorry, I felt like that was really bright. I've got some new stuff. There we go. Next one. So this is interesting. It almost plays off the first card. It says, yeah, it's hot, but is that enough? And that's me telling you. So make sure it's more than just physical. It should feed your heart and soul too. And then I say, yeah, it's hot, but is that enough? So these are the relationships stuff, whether you're in one, whether you're crushing, whether you're confused, or whether you already know and just need the validation. So it's hot, but is that enough? Is it enough for you? Because sometimes casual, quick, and whatever is what you need at the time. Not everybody is meant to be forever, right? Some people are literally meant to be one interaction in this soul, this lifetime. Some people are just meant to cross paths. Some people are meant to give you a confidence boost. Some people, are meant to teach you some deep, deep lessons. And some are just like helping you to move along or move through something, right? But is it enough for you? So if it's like one person that you're, or if you're, deciding between multiple people and you're like, oh, this person, this is the conversation we have amongst my friends, like, is like, can you build, if a relationship is what you want, can you build without chemistry first? can you build off friendship and then let it become something else? Does the chemistry ever happen, or is it never there? Talking about like past relationships where I'm like, no, I feel like I always had to have some sort of chemistry before entering into a relationship with somebody, like a long-term relationship, because I'm like, I don't, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, there still has to be an electric charge to get, the vehicle moving. But any relationship that started that was purely physical, or because it was just chemistry, but yet there was like all these things that we did not have in common, those were never enough, or they were, just quick, like ended as quick as they began type thing, right? So you got to figure out what's enough for your heart and soul. And this has been, for me, the message of the week. And I even painted it on my flower of the day the other day. So relax and have some effing fun. Sometimes you gotta relax to let the pleasure in. The pleasure, the pain, the uncertainties. Otherwise, you're just gonna sit there and brace yourself and just like, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, and you're gonna push everything away. Versus, dude, just enjoy yourself, enjoy this life. You don't know if you have till tomorrow. You don't know if you have 10, 20, 50 more years to go. So you might as well relax into where your life is at right now. That's with the trusting the intuition card anyways. Relax with the other person without trying to figure everything out and trying to like control the situation, or, constantly thinking, what do I need to do next, or something like that, or what's going to happen next? Like, relax, just have some fun. Okay. Whatever it is aligned as F. Sorry, this is like slightly tilted. There we go. It is aligned. But more info is needed. And ask for help. I don't know what that means for you in your situation. Maybe it's getting to know somebody, getting to connect with somebody, asking them for help with something if you know this person. So yeah, let me know how that resonates for you. All right, pile 2. Pile 2 was the king. All right, pile 2. What does pile 2 need to know right now? Ooh, I am prosperous. Focusing on your money, your income, your career. I love this. You got the blank one. Blank slate. Clean canvas. I am whatever it is I want to be. And it's like, I am infinite. I literally have, when there's no restrictions, it's whatever. It's whatever. I am never alone. That's for sure. Oh, hold on. Those. Okay. Prosperity. When we design these cards, prosperity doesn't have to mean monetary, but I, being a Taurus, always associate, Taurus rules the second house of money and income, right? So I always associate prosperity with long-term money, not just, quick and dirty change, right? I'm looking at like, this is the long-term thing that you're building. This is the long-term goal. This is the end of like, you know what? what is the legacy that I want to leave behind? And not just monetary prosperity. Let's talk about like time freedom, freedom to move about the cabin, freedom and the things that are afforded by prosperity, if you're looking at it energetically. Once everything is open and prosperous and abundant, it's almost like everything is rippled in your life anyway. So when things are going good, things are going great, right? What experiences do you want to have that money ties into? And what are your hangups and things that stop you from thinking about or thinking whether you like, do I not deserve this? Or do I have, money hangups from when I was a child that I still believe making money or being prosperous is either bad, evil, people with money are this or that? Or do I subscribe to the belief system that making money has to be hard and you have to work hard for a living? Or can we start retraining our brains to go, no, I can make money for just being me. I can make money for doing things I'm passionate about and love, and that create the lifestyle that I truly want for me and my family, right? How can I do this that's in alignment with my soul purpose, my human design, and that doesn't feel like it's going against the grain with who I am, right? So to me, prosperity is like all encompassing, right? And again, blank slate. I am never alone. I always look at this card as not just physically, you do actually have a bunch of people around here that are surrounding you with love, and that they appreciate you and they love who you are as a person. But even spirit side, like we have people that we've lost that are on the other side. We have our angels and our, whatever you want to subscribe to, like if it's your God, if it's Holy Spirit, if it's angels, if it's whatever it is for you, just knowing that although sometimes it feels very isolating and lonely here in this earthly experience, even if you're sitting in a crowded room feeling like alone as hell, right? You're not truly ever alone. You always have access to, um, your higher self, spirit, God, all of that. And they're waiting for you to just open your mouth and invite the help in, right? All right. So Queen of Cups in reverse with I am prosperous. This is like, you need to make sure that you're filling your cup first before you can overflow to the cups of others. And I usually will talk about like the cups being uh like when you have a champagne tower, how all of the cups are stacked up just right so that you can pour into the top cup and it'll just continually waterfall down into the cups of others. But when your cup is upside down and yours is not being filled, you're not being emotionally fulfilled, you're not taking the time, to take care of yourself and to take care of your nervous system, that's going to affect your prosperity. That's going to affect your work. And this might be my pile here, right? I need to slow down a little bit. I've like saying yes to too many things is like, oh, okay. And good things, right? But it's like, okay, maybe this was a lot for my nervous system to tackle all in 1 week or all in one sudden shift of a change instead of acclimating to these new things that I was trying to add in. It's like adding in stuff, from a detox or a diet. You can't just jump right in. So making sure your cup is full, your cup is overflowing, you're taking the time to rest and care for your emotions, your cycles, um your mental health and your heart, and also realizing if it's tied into prosperity wise, like where is my heart not being fulfilled in where I'm at now? And what would make me happier? What would give not just happiness, but like, oh, you could throw a number out there and be like, oh, if you love what you're doing, but you just were like, I just need to make more money at it. Like that's the only problem, then that's good. Cause then it sounds like you love what you do. If you're not happy and money would just shut you up, like that's temporary. That's like a Band-Aid, right? If you're not happy with what you're doing and where you're at, then that's a different conversation that you need to have with yourself, because it's going to constantly drain you. Because it's just say you asked for an extra 10, 20 grand a year, but then in a year from now, you're still going to be unfulfilled, miserable, stressed out when you get to your kids and to home. I mean, then that's a different issue than asking for more money, right? So what's going to fulfill you? What's going to fill your cup? What's going to give you that nurturing quality back to you? So star card with the blank one. Hold on. Star card. Hold on. I thought I had my little thing down here. So this is just saying it's not yet time. So these, when it's upright, star card, she's got 1 foot in the spiritual realm and then 1 foot on solid ground, right? And so that's that staying grounded here, but then also like tapping into the spiritual side, or the ideas and the stuff that needs to come out of the ethers and into the world, right? But with the blank and with this, it's like it still needs to be created and birthed. This is something that is not, it might just be a thought or an idea for now. It's not, you're at such a blank slate with this one that it's like there's nothing to water yet, because you're like, what do I want? What do I want with my life? What do I want with the direction that it's going? And then once you do make those decisions, right? Once you do decide like, okay, this is the direction that I want to head or continue going, then star card will come around and nourish this and balance out between the physical and the spiritual realm of things, and the mind, body, heart side of things. I am never alone with the Knight of Cups in reverse. So normally the Knight of Cups. So we have the Knight, the Queen, Knight, Page, Queen, King, right? So the Knight is beginning, right? It's not fully formed yet. It's interesting too that we got both of the water signs, but all of them in reverse, but just seeing that there's either beginning of something that's new, artistic, but it's just like it's under the surface, right? Because it's not being presented just yet, because it's not upright. So it's like either being withheld, muted, subdued, stifled. Like if you're stifling your creativity, that could be what this is representing for you. It feels like not being able to articulate the vision fully, right? And knowing I am never alone in that thought too, especially if you're an artist or a creative. Like if this is a period where you're like, I haven't even sat down. When's the last time you created, right? This is like, this spread is all lacking something. I'm missing something. There's something missing in my life, right? But dude, blank slate star card, what do you want to make out of it? What do you want to do? So let's go to relationship. Actions always speak louder than words. So pay attention. That's self-explanatory. People will run their mouths and make all the promises in the world, and relationship wise, friendship wise, family member, whatever connection, soulmate wise that is for you, however that's showing up, just pay attention to how they're actually showing up for you. And I say this in terms of like, even people in my life that are like, I'm your biggest fan, I'll always support you. Yet I'm like, Name something I've said in one episode, and they can't because they've never listened to one episode. Stuff like that, where it's like, okay, you say you're my supporter, but you haven't actually listened to anything that I do. So you're just like, yeah, go, go, go. But okay, right? That to me is actions misaligned with the words. In relationship wise, that can also be somebody who's like pretending like you're not on their mind, yet their actions show otherwise. Or them saying you're on my mind, yet you never text except once every 24 hours. And then once I engage in conversation, you don't reply back. And so there's never really a volley back and forth of conversation, right? Or there's never a plan of, hey, let's call and talk on the phone and have a conversation, or let's meet up for boba smoothies, or let's go do this thing together so that we can bond and spend time together. Because to me, if somebody were like, I'm interested in you, I'm interested in getting to know you, but yet they never make any effort to do that, that's, dude, your actions way got to outshine your words. Because you can actually keep your words to a minimum and your actions like up to 1,000. You can literally be like, I am into you. And then the actions are like, I call you every day. I text you something. I tell you when I'm busy or you're on my mind, or, little touch points throughout the day, or let's make plans for this. Let's do this, but not just empty idle plans. Actually, like, hey, what are you doing on this date or this week? When don't you have the kids? And all of these things, right? So pay attention. Heal the old shit, which the star card is a very healing card, FYI. I can't remember if I said that. Heal the old stuff so you can make room for the new. So what old wounds need to be redressed? What old wounds am I holding on to that are old, outdated, and don't serve a purpose anymore? Or what old wounds were true for that moment in my life, but are no longer true now? Sometimes you have to re-break a bone to reset it, right? Sometimes you might need surgery and then have to get that scar tissue all over again and heal all over again to make room for a new and improved, right? Hold on. And it's so easy to say, heal the old so you can make room for the new. But what does that look like? A lot of our stuff is childhood. A lot of our wounds are like, this one thing happened to me one time, and therefore I'm going to believe this about people or men or women or whatever for the rest of my life. So the brain is crazy sometimes. The brain will believe all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So sometimes you have to sit in meditation and ask flat out, okay, what needs to get healed? What needs to get faced? Sometimes the healing is literally just replaying a conversation and not turning it off, or changing the outcome to something in a meditation where you're like, I'm replaying this scene in my head, but I'm changing the outcome so that it will ripple and make you feel better in this moment right now. Sometimes it's writing a letter to somebody that never gets delivered. Sometimes it's actually reaching out and talking to them. Your intuition, you're going to know what that is for you. But whatever it is, you got to heal the old so that this new stuff can come in. Because this is like having the house full of furniture and you're like, I really need new stuff. But you're like, there's no sense of urgency for me to get rid of this stuff because it is actually still in really good shape. But like, if I want new stuff, I got to go find it, place the order, pay for it, arrange for the delivery. And then you better believe when that package and delivery is at your door, the old stuff better be gone so that you have room for the new furniture. Like, you have to get rid of that stuff. You have to. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may look different than you expected. Yeah. And there has been some interesting stuff this year where I'm like, man, I never in a million years would have thought I'd find myself like wanting to do this or try this, or even just like attracted to people where I'm like, that person has not ever been my type. What the hell is this? But then realizing like sometimes that's how it happens, where the lessons and changes that we are learning, it's because we connect with somebody that's totally, out of our realm of like, I would have never considered giving this person a chance, like, or ever thought, right? And that can be friendships too, unlikely friendships, unlikely connections, unlikely chemistry in different ways, because this stuff exists in different ways for us and we experience it differently. And so that's happened to me too, where I'm like, some of my best friends are people that are so opposite than me in so many other ways, yet we vibe and we connect on a couple things. And now I'm like, dude, we've been friends for, 10, 20 years now, or lifelong childhood, right? I joke where I'm like, I made friends with the neighborhood bully, not the neighborhood, but the bus stop bully, because I would have rather, you know, I would have rather had her closer to me than me being bullied by her. So whatever that saying is of like keeping your enemies closer or whatever. Those people are soulmates. Your unlikely friends, unlikely connections. The people that spark your attention where you're like, where'd you come from? Like, I was just walking and existing and living my life. And then all of a sudden this like, oh, this person pops in, blessing. You're like, oh, cool. Nice to meet you again in this life. Right? So keeping an open mind, your soulmate may look different than you expected. And that's the big thing too, is like, I'm learning through this human shit is you can't expect anything. That's what's crazy. Zero expectations now. Everything is magical. Things are a surprise. I'm rolling with the punches. You just got to surrender. All right. So I got smoothie on my nose. The way forward yet is not clear. Something is you already know, but that came out with heal the old so you can make room for the new. So you already know what needs to get healed. And then interesting. Okay. So there's somebody that this is going to make sense to, where it's like, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may look different than you expected. Somebody is like, no, not that one. Not that one that you're thinking of, but I think the other one or something like that is like, wait, no. So anyways, pile 2, let me know how that resonated. Pile 3, the bishop. I am calm and collected. More earth energy. You also got I am prosperous. I used 2 decks in one. I combined 2. So you also got pile 2, got that one, I think. I am recovering from my traumas. I am calm and collected. So to me, this is very much like the I am grounded card, where it's like, okay, not that life is in a state of bliss, but more like you are in a state of calm, collected, contentment, having it together. Like when I think of being calm and collected, I'm like, when I work these weddings and you just look over at the planner and there's so much happening right now. It's very overstimulating. You're getting ready for 300 people to show up, 200 people, whatever. And you just look over, she's got her little checklist. Everything is good. You're where you're supposed to be. You're where you're supposed to be. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. We know where the bride and groom are at. Like, we're cool. Everything's calm and collected. Yet at any moment, things can go crazy, but you still have to stay in that state of calm and collectedness so that you can properly assess and tend to whatever things are going on. So I am prosperous. So again, I went into this on the last pile about prosperity and what that means, and if that's a time and freedom thing for you, or if it's a literal like prosperity with your money and your career, prosperity of being able to have disposable income and to, actually buy investment properties and rental properties and, do all the things you want to do so that you don't feel like you're, wasting your money. Because some people, the prosperity thing is like, dude, I'm making the money. I got the money, but how do I affect the world with it? How do I change the world with it? Or how do I change my life or change my family's life with it? I am recovering from my traumas. So that is like the big, big, big thing. Even Ezra today said to me out of nowhere, because I guess he saw it on some meme that was like, oh, sure hope I don't have to fight the shadow self part of me today, or something like that. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I don't know. I saw it on YouTube. I was like, say that again? He's like, I sure hope I don't have to fight the shadow self of me today. And I'm like, yeah, me too, man. Me too. I hope I don't have to fight the shadow self of me today too. But recovery is just that. Recovering from traumas. Like I like to use the house as an analogy because it's like we have a house that is full of memories, pictures on the walls. It holds energy. We have fights here, giggles here, cuddles here. It's like all the array of emotions that have energetically been left into this space, right? Recovery is like finally going through that room or that garage and all the times that were tough. Some people grew up with parents who weren't very nice to them. Some people grew up with siblings who weren't very nice to them, or that did god awful things or allowed things to happen to them, right? And so let's just say those memories happened in the house and they're packed up in that bin that's in the garage because we've never actually gone through the bin to see what's in there and what can be salvaged and what needs to go to the dump, right? Recovering from trauma is going through that bin and dealing with it. And while you go through the bin, all the emotions come back up. And it even makes me emotional thinking about it right now. Because everything that you've stuffed down, everything that you thought you've dealt with or that thought didn't affect you does in some way, shape, or form. It comes back. And so recovering from trauma could be reliving, rehashing, having flashbacks, needing to reassociate new meaning to words, things, songs, movies, things that are etched into our brain, and changing the perspective about it if it's coming up. You don't have to force things. It literally, when you're recovering from trauma, it will literally come up on its own and show you and rear its head, and it will come to the surface and separate like oil and water while you're trying to sort through things. And you can know what the core trauma is and be like, okay, I know I'm recovering from, this thing that happened to me when I was a kid. And sometimes it's an isolated event. And then sometimes the trauma is a chronic pain, a chronic wound, physically, mentally, spiritually, right? So making sure that you're in a safe place to address that and to deal with that so that you're not losing yourself, making sure that people know safe people know that you're working through this. You know, if you have a therapist or you have some trusted friends that can hold space while you're dealing. Because oftentimes what I've realized with people that are facing their shadow selves, as Ezra says, fighting their shadow selves, these shadows and the stuff that wants to come out of the bin, it makes us highly emotional in other areas of our life, right? So the brain, being the computer that it is, it's going to constantly process. So if you're bringing up these old memories that you forgot about, or you're getting flashes of things that you're like, oh God, I totally haven't thought about that, right? That's like the computer defragging and like, okay, well, in order to clear it out, we have to run it through the processor so that we can clear up the memory in the space in here for you, right? So this came out in reverse, but I want to show it to you this way first. Hold on. Sorry, I'm backwards. Everything is fine. Where am I at? Everything is fine. She's literally got all the swords in her back. This is the 10 of Swords card. So this is someone who's laying in bed on her phone, on her side, with everything piercing her. Okay. Everything. And she's carrying it. And do you know how painful it is to carry that much around? The swords are air sign, which is communication and thoughts. So what I see is when this is coming out with I am calm and collected, but it's coming out in reverse, meaning it's finally with being calm and collected, getting into meditative state, getting to train your brain to start shifting when things are going off into spiraling or into a PTSD moment where it's flashing back at you and normally it would leave you feeling this type of way in your body. This is saying stay calm and collected in those moments. Breathe. I cannot stress how important breathing is, especially when you're in the midst of I don't even want to call it an episode, but let's just say a situation when it comes up. Staying calm and collected, deep, deep breaths and stopping, putting the phone down, disconnecting from electronics, turning off the computer, the radio, if you're in the car, and just do that a few times. Staying in that state of baseline calm and collectedness. The swords will fall out. Because if you stay calm and collected, you're not bracing your body now to hold all of these tight. If you can relax, surrender, and know everything is fine, those swords can begin. Whether people are pulling them out for you because you're like, I just can't. They're like, here, I got this. Okay. Everything is fine. If it's money you're worried about because it's I am prosperous, Ace of Cups is coming in and say, don't worry, baby. Ace of Cups is brand new love, excitement, art, creativity. Your cup is overflowing. It's coming from the heavens. Okay, relax. Everything is fine. Ace of Cups is new. And it's normally like a new baby card, but babies are a physical manifestation of that newness in the same way that a creative endeavor is. Whether planned or accidental, it's something that starts from nothing and becomes something. And it's an expression of our heart, and it's an expression of our soul. So what's that new project? What's that new Ace of Cups thing that's like just pulling at you? Okay, with I am recovering from my traumas, check this out. We got the Lovers card. So yeah, somebody somebody could have hurt you. Gemini energy, right? Their hands are not even touching. It's like being so close yet so far apart. So maybe recovering from relationship stuff. So speaking of relationship, loosen your grip and allow this ish to unfold naturally. Trust your effing vibes. You already know the answer. Trust your intuition, please. Please. That's the only way it's going to get stronger, is the more you trust it. The more you let it guide you, the more you stop making decisions purely based out of here and start living and trusting decisions that are like based out of your gut and that intuitive brain in here that's like, yes, no, lights you up, doesn't light you up. I feel like I should go this. I feel like I should do this or not do this. Trust that. That's the little voice, the voice that doesn't talk out loud. It's the up here that's like trying to tell you. Now, when it comes to the Lover's card, this is what's interesting. You got self-love, baby. Prioritize deep love for the magical bee that you are. Self-love is more than just spas and manicures too, FYI. Self-love, while it's associating with I am recovering from my traumas and the Lover's card, I see it like loving ourselves through our mistakes, loving ourselves through becoming the person we never thought we would be, loving ourselves after the trauma of losing ourselves in a relationship and gaining ourselves back. To remember, like, dude, remember who you are before all of this? Or maybe you never knew because this is all you've ever known, that person or situation. Self-love is like, you know what? This isn't just me taking myself out to dinner. This isn't just me, you know, pleasuring. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that. That is self-love, right? Taking care of yourself. But like, do you truly look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how amazing you are and how magical you are and things that are great about you? Do we allow ourselves to receive that from other people when they look us in the eyes and they say, like, you're freaking awesome? Do we receive it? Or do we push it away because we don't truly believe it about ourselves? So again, self-love. Do I treat myself the way a lover would? Am I kind? Do I talk nice to myself? I've been doing a lot better at that. And I've also been doing a lot better at like trying to even say the words out loud that it's easy for me. I can tell my friends, I can tell my kids, I can say, I love you. Like I'm very, very open and affectionate that way. Like it's no problem. But recovering from my traumas of like going through a really painful divorce and betrayal and the extent of my relationship trauma, finding the self-love for me has been, like I said, a lot more than just spa days. It's been nurturing myself back to health to go, you didn't deserve some of the things that happened to you. Like loving myself through changing beliefs that I thought just because this happened to me that meant I was undeserving, unlovable, a bad person, getting paid back for something awful I must have done, right? Whatever. Just throwing all those different thoughts that I've had over the years out there. And loving myself through changing those and going, you know what? If you left the dishes in the sink tonight, It does not mean you're an awful mother. It does not mean you're a bad person. It means you're a tired one and overwhelmed. But like, you're still a lovable person because of this. Or some recent decisions that made me question my own character of like, this isn't something I would normally do, or this type of person that I would normally engage with. And it's like, self-love is going, you're not a bad person. And I know it sounds like rationalizing or whatever, but it's like, because I can tend to beat myself up over things way harder than anybody else can. So if I mess up, believe me, I have already punished myself 10 times worse than you ever could. And then if you do say something even more to that, I'll punish myself like mentally 10 times even more based off that as well. It's a fun time. It really is. But again, these are shadow things that are like, okay, don't do that. You don't have to be the martyr. You don't have to, it doesn't always have to hurt, right? There doesn't have to be a pain and a discipline associated with every single thing, right? But anyways, how are you prioritizing yourself? How are you saying, I really don't want to go to this. I really want to stay in, or I really actually do want to get out and go meet people and network and connect and build friendship. How is that for you? All right. So something's toxic-ish. That one is with the everything is fine, loosen your grip. So paying attention to the toxic-ish in yourself or other people. And with loosen your grip and allowing it to unfold naturally card, the toxic part could be you always just trying to retain control over everything. So tying that together with loosen your grip, it's like, dude, the harder you try to hold on to something, the more it's gonna, starve, or you're gonna strangle it, right? Trust your effing vibes on this. You already know the answer. Comes with this feels good. So whether that's a person, a decision, that one came out. That's the I am prosperous card with the Ace of Cups. So something does feel good when it comes in terms of your prosperity and your intuition that's telling you for that new project or that new thing to come up. And again, with I am recovering from my traumas. Oh, this is interesting. The Lover's card, recovering from traumas. The self-love, you're settling. So where are you settling? What are you settling? Bare minimum, breadcrumbs, all of that. Where are you settling in your life? Where aren't you treating yourself? Where are you allowing someone to keep talking to you, even though they only talk to you once every 24 hours? But yet you're extending your energy and your thoughts outward towards somebody that's not making any effort. Or where can you be nicer to yourself? What can you do to make yourself fall in love with yourself even more? So anyways, if you want to book a private reading, you can. I'll put the links in the description, or just visit soulsandstardustpodcast.com. There, on that website, if you want to learn how to make your own oracle decks like this one. I also made this one, and we made this one. So if you want to learn how to make your own decks, whether for private personal use, or if you want to learn to sell them on different marketplaces or sell to your own following, Shannon and I have an online course that you can buy through the Souls and Stardust podcast link. There's also an online course in there if you want to dig into your own astrology birth chart and learn about the different signs, the different houses, the different planets, and kind of play around from there and learn the basics. We have that as well. We also have a ton of episodes, some guest interviews on the podcast. If you follow like Country Clairvoyant or Black Girl Magi, we have some really cool people. We just recorded with Austin Varvel, Positive Mind with Positive Vibes. And then we're going to have my friend Stephanie come on and talk about human design. And we'll have some other people that have some really interesting perspectives and just different things that they do, different modalities and different missions that they're on. So we're super excited for that. And then again, we have our retreat coming up November 9th through the 12th of 2023, just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. We are booking up. It's getting closer because the final payment is about to be due in October. So right now you can still get in for just $500 down, and then the rest will be due October 1st. Or you can pay in full for $100 off whatever room you can book as a single occupancy. Or if you and a bestie want to come, we have rooms that you can fit 2 up to 4 people comfortably. If you guys are cool with snuggling. And we would love to have you. This is going to be a weekend where sisterhood, safety, community places, we're going to have workshops so we can practice our intuition with you guys. We can teach each other just different tips, techniques. We're going to do a QHHT, past life regression, for one of the nights. And we'll do some cool mediumship stuff, and we'll run your astrology, your birth chart, your human design, so that you're walking away and leaving the weekend like either equipped, excited, or open-minded to getting to know yourself and your intuition even better. So like I said, or if you're in Phoenix and you just want to come, we have day passes where you could just buy just the ticket for the workshop and the meals and the events, and then you just go home. You're just not going to stay with us. But the tickets that we have are all inclusive as well, for staying, food, except for you just have to book your own flight, and Phoenix is pretty cheap to get in and out of. So anyways, again, thank you so much. If you could please leave a comment with anything just to help us, the YouTube people love that. But anyways, like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. And I love you so much, and we'll talk soon.